Welcome. Today's video is about why we feel worse when we compare ourselves to the best versions of ourselves. This may sound abstract at first, but let me begin with an example. So let's say we're working towards our goals. In week number 1, we are meeting the mark. We're pushing ourselves beyond our perceived comfort zones, and we are really going the extra mile in comparison to our normal baseline. And by the end of it, we're exhausted. We're tired in every single way, but we put that work in, and the results are paying off. And yet, now comes week 2, where we still have the same goals. We're still working towards the exact same mission, and yet, for one reason or another, we don't need to go as hard to achieve our goals, which sounds great on the surface, but for some reason, we feel worse about ourselves, about our progress towards the destination. Well, that's exactly what today's video is about. What to do when you recognize this is the case, and how to quickly and easily overcome these feelings and return to an elevated state of connection within yourself. So let's get into it. So here's what you do. First, recognize that you have a spectrum of possible opportunities laying ahead of you. On one end, you can go to the absolute max in terms of your efforts. You can grind as hard as you can and as hard as you did for that first week. Or number 2, you can let go. You can flow towards your destination and do so in ways that may take the scenic route, but ultimately are achieving the same goal, with the priority being your physical health and wellness. A root of the matter is in the comparison that you hold from your current moment to your past. And this is just one manifestation of this core root problem. So first, recognize that things change internally and externally. And so by comparing yourself to what once was, or holding yourself accountable to expectations that are no longer in this present moment, you're going to find yourself feeling these feelings of dissatisfaction, disappointment, of disgust, whatever it may be. Things that are ultimately bringing you down into a negative spiral. And you'll recognize this, which, if you're watching this video thus far, then odds are you can recall a time in your life where you have felt these feelings when comparing your present self to a past version or even a different person. So we recognize that there's a spectrum to what could be done. We find where along that spectrum that feels most aligned with how we wish to feel, while effectively achieving our goals. And with this, we must recognize and accept as fully as possible that the more tightly you grip onto an expectation of how things could or should be going, then the more you're setting yourself up for disappointment. And I will say that there's benefit in coming to an understanding of whether you're achieving these goals for other people or for yourself. Are you putting this work in and grinding so hard towards your goals because it makes other people feel good, or you're filling the pockets of someone else without it proportionally coming back to you? Identify why it is that you're truly working this hard, and are you feeling bad because you set that tempo that you no longer want to keep up with, and you're overall just concerned with how others are going to look at you when you're no longer matching this tempo that you once maintained. So recognize that who cares what they think? Who cares how they feel? Focus on yourself in this way. Remain true to your goals. So what are you going to do? Are you going to sit back and let life dictate how you feel? How you live your life? Go within. Feel your feelings. Accept them and give thanks. And take the action that you need to achieve the goals that you so work for, and do so from a place of love. Thank you.